What's up, everybody? It's Dave with the Collective Experience, and I'm really, really amped because I got a chance to chat with the one, the only, Mr. Levi Kitchen. Levi, what's going on, dude?
Not much, just hanging out.
Sick, sick. I'm sure the weather where you are is a lot better than where I am, so I'm a little bit jealous of you right now. I wanted to kind of get you on an interview, like pretty much all year since I think before Loretta's. As I said before, I'm a super big nerd for all the AM riding stuff. Love the pro stuff, but AMs are like my thing. And just watching you go through like all the qualifiers and stuff, definitely wanted to keep an eye on you for Loretta's. And of course, you know, I have made a bet with my buddy. You do really well, and I won the bet, so I'm really happy. Um, yeah, you've had such a banner year, man. Like it's pretty unreal. Let's start off with for the few people, like the one or two guys out there who don't know who you are. Give us a quick intro about you.
My name's Levi. I'm from Washougal, Washington. 19 years old. Ride for Rock River Yamaha. Moved out to Louisiana about 2 years ago to start training. And yeah, just been, I don't know, started riding when I was about 4 and just liked it ever since. I don't know.
Been tearing it up ever since. There you go. So yeah, like I alluded to, you know, you had a stellar Loretta Lynn's. I'll just say that you went 6 for 6, almost unheard of. Only the elites do it. What was that like for you, man? Like, first off, congrats on all the titles you've amassed this year. Yeah, what was that like going 6 for 6, man? Walk us through a little bit of like a high level of your week at the ranch.
You know, it was crazy coming into it. I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I knew I had done my work and I was pretty confident, but after the first gate drop, I was only started. I don't think I came out first in, and after that I came from about 20th on the first lap and got into the lead. And when I won that first moto, it kind of set the tone. I was like, all right, this is where I deserve to be. And then ended up hole shot in every other moto after that, and pretty much just raced the track. Like, I was just trying to honestly set, you know, the goal for me was just to, I don't know, just put as big of a gap as I could and just race the track as fast as I could, I guess.
No, I hear that. It's a good plan.
Yeah.
Did you almost feel like an underdog when you came into all your motos? Did you think you would go out there and just dominate every race?
I knew I was capable of it. I don't think other people knew because, I mean, yeah, I was kind of an underdog. I was kind of always in the shadow of, like, you know, a lot of the top dudes. But,
Yeah.
no, coming in, I was pretty confident, and I don't know, it worked out pretty well. I mean, I put in a lot of work before, so, you know, that's all I expected really was to win.
Yeah. Hey, man, that plan worked out.
Yeah.
So what was the feeling going into the last moto? Because we always hear about, you know, over the tons of years that the Reddit has been going on, that so many guys have had such a great lead in their classes, and the last moto comes up and they either DNF or bad start or whatever. What was the feeling for like the very last moto when you knew you could make the sweep?
I don't know. It was weird. I think it was on my 450, if I remember right. I could be wrong. And I'm a pretty confident starter on that 450, especially because a lot of the guys in that class, they run 250. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't really think of it any different than the other motos, I wouldn't say. I mean, I for sure, like, I wasn't going to settle for 5 out of 6. It just doesn't, you know, that wasn't, I don't know. But coming into it, I was a little nervous. But after I got a good start, I don't know, it was just like training out here, honestly. It just got into my groove and everything fell into place.
Yeah, this is as usual, man. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
change it if it's working. So yeah, that race kind of put you on the map and a lot of people's eyes. Like I said, I think a lot of people didn't have you on their, you know, top picks to win. And that's why I said, you know, you feel almost like an underdog. How have things changed since then? Like, you know, has your training intensified? Have more teams been talking to you? Have you garnered a bit more attention at the races? Like, how have things changed since you had the Red Lens pop off for you?
I don't know. I've been doing like the same kind of stuff. I think there's more eyes on me now for sure. Like, I think people expect me to be there now, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, I'm glad people have confidence in me now, but I don't know. There's a little bit of pressure, but I feel like I deal with that pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as people looking at me, I mean, this year has been so crazy, as everybody knows it. So
Yeah.
things have been kind of tough in that spot, but I don't know. I'm hoping to figure something out here pretty soon.
Yeah. So, you know, fast forward a little bit, going on to We just had Ponca. We just had the Team
Yep.
Fried Classic. You had
Yep.
some really good showings at both of those. You have probably one of the most stacked classes in recent memory. What was one of your favorite motos from either Ponca or the Team Fried Classic that kind of stuck out to you? As like, man, this was super fun, or man, this was like I had the biggest lead, the best race I've had all season or whatever. Which one kind of stood out to you?
Ponca 250A first moto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 250A first moto. I got a very bad start. Me and my buddy LeBlanc actually both didn't get good starts. And then, I don't know, me and him, like, he got around a couple guys early, and then I finally got around him. And we just, it was a fun race. We went from, I don't remember, like, mid-pack, and we caught up. And I remember I was probably, like, 10 seconds down, and he had just caught up to Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen, like, all I would see was Matt, and then I would see Chambers was way out in the beginning.
Yeah.
So once I got into third, I was like, that's kind of where I expected to be. I was like, all right, I guess this is probably where I'm going to finish, blah, blah, blah. And then I seen him catch Chambers a bunch. And once he got around Chambers, I was like, wow, like, I guess that's my next target. So once I got around him, there was a pretty good gap, and I just, like, put my head down and ended up reeling in Matt. And me and him had a pretty good battle at the end. I didn't end up getting him, but it was a gnarly race. And we did, I think the moto was like 22 minutes, so it wasn't super short.
Oh, okay. So they gave you like full big boy motos. Wow.
Yeah, like it was pretty good. And no, that was by far the most fun race. That one, and then the first 450 race at Ponca, the Open Pro class, just because I hole shot it, and then like that one was like pretty good, just because I got a good start and just kind of ran away.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I would love that feeling right now. I haven't been able to ride in a couple of weeks, so I'm like, I'm itching, dude. I'm so itching to get out there and ride.
Yeah.
So one thing that everyone likes to do, I see it all over the message boards and, it's all over social. They always compare the different eras of AM racers. So we always see Stu back in his 80 versus, AC on his 80, or Izzy versus this guy. Like, in your opinion, do you think that we have the fastest era of amateurs right now? Like, if you were to bring up like a Kevin Wyndham from back in the day, or RC or Stu or somebody, one of the greats at LORETTA'S, do you think that we would like walk all over them? We meaning you guys. Do you think that you guys would walk all over them now, or do you think they had a leg up on us back then? Like, what's your thoughts on that? I want to get an insider's opinion on that whole thing.
That's a tough one. I think as far as like, no doubt, like the way that we ride now and like the technique, all that different kind of stuff, it has came a long way. I mean, you guys were just wide open on the clutch. I mean, like, two strokes, stuff like that, super minis. But I would say, I think we would beat them now. Well, obviously our equipment's better, but even if you put them on our equipment we have now, I still think it'd be tough just because of how, I don't know, everybody's so good now. And, just the way everybody rides, like the techniques and stuff. I think a lot of it's coming from Europe, honestly. Like the Europeans, they're doing it right for sure, and the way they ride is pretty impressive. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Raw speed-wise, though, James Stewart and Carmichael and those guys, man, they were nuts. Like
they were gnarly. They were pretty gnarly. I will say that.
I mean, it was insane. But they were sloppy too. Like, as crazy as that sounds, like they were good, and their raw speed was insane. But every once in a while they'd make some mistakes. So I feel like that's what you see less of now. Is I feel like people don't make quite as many mistakes.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's the one major difference between now and back then is we're a lot more technique focused, where, like you said, we would see so many AMs like, they're fast, but man, they are on the ground all the time. We're like, your crop of guys, I'll say like LORETTA'S like B class this year, I didn't see many mistakes, man. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
everyone was super solid, and that's super cool to see. And one thing you mentioned it was the European influence. I'm kind of digging the new Euro influx of technique. A lot of guys, keeping the feet on the pegs through ruts and corners and stuff. I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I've been working on that for like, I don't know, about a year and a half now.
It's tough, man.
It is tough, and I've always had a different riding style. Like I ride kind of far back on my seat, almost like I don't know, like kind of like a Plester. I'm kind of tall now, so like that. But No, the feet on the pegs, like when you hit a rut good with both feet on the pegs, like there is no better feeling. Plus you have all that drive coming out of the turn.
Oh, for sure.
And like just the way you weight the bike and stuff with both feet on, obviously is better than with one foot on. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. And one thing that I like about your riding is I don't think anyone really talks about it much. You've got ridiculous corner speed, and that's something that we all strive for. How did you develop such a good technique for cornering, man? Is it because you're so tall and you kind of ride the back of the bike, get your foot up there a little higher? Like, what's the thing, man? Because every time I see you throw up Insta bangers, I'm like, God damn! Like the whips are cool, but the way you get through ruts, dude, it's like, oh my gosh, come on, that's like the sickest shit right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always actually been good at corners, but I used to be my form wasn't that great. And then honestly, as I grew, and what taught me how to corner good was I rode YZ 125s for about a year and a half.
Yep.
I think it was about a year and a half. And no offense to my lovely brand of Yamaha, but they're not super fast. I mean, no 125 is really fast.
Yep.
So you have to learn how to carry so much momentum. And I feel like that's what taught me how to like now on a 4-stroke, I feel like I almost coast through half the turn, but I just come in so fast to where then I can just I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but the 125 for sure taught me how to corner, hands down. That's when I kind of stepped it up a little bit.
Dude, you think you had it hard. I had a KX 125 bone stock. I used to get waxed by YZ, so.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Oh, man, that thing was tough. So you mentioned that you bumped up to A. You're seeing some instant success there. How have you and your mechanic kind of switched up your program, if at all? Like, is this still business as usual? Are you guys doing the same sort of training, same sort of thing to the bike, or have they progressed a little bit now that you've kind of taken that step up and now you're making run the A class?
I think it stayed generally the same. I mean, I was in stock stuff last year as a B rider.
Yep.
For most races, at least. So, on the 450, the thing's already so damn fast. We just threw a pipe on it.
Yeah.
And then in the 250 class, Ed Torrance, the guy who runs the team right now, he has always ran it, but he built me a mod bike and stuff for the A class because obviously a stock class just wouldn't compete with those other guys' bikes. So, but as far as I mean, it's definitely the mod bike stuff are more high maintenance, but I think I ride the 450 more than any other bike. Just I don't know, you don't have to maintain as much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I get a lot of grief for it seems like I'm always on a 450, but I mean, it saves money and
it does.
It makes me a lot stronger too. Because when I get on my 250 off the 450, thing feels like a 125 now.
Oh, agreed. So with the mod bike, is that giving your mechanic more gray hairs now? Because he's having to do so much maintenance and checkup now.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more tough, but he's got it pretty down now.
Oh yeah. Those guys they know what they're doing. So like I said, you're in A class now, which the inevitable question is, when's this guy going to go pro? When's this going to happen? What's one thing you're looking forward to going pro? We'll get into the whole when later, but what's one thing you're looking forward to when you do get your pro license?
For me, it's going to be the longer motos just because, I mean, as far my sprint speed is decent, but I've never really been a very good sprinter right off the bat. And I know I'm gonna need to work on that, but right now I'm already pretty confident as far as my fitness, and I feel like that's going to play a huge part. Yeah. I mean, I know the difference between 20 and 30 is quite a bit, but I don't know. I'm glad to be able to race longer modes. These amateur races, except for Ponca, I was actually impressed, but usually, we're going into mini O's. I doubt they're going to be more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you get a 10th place start with how good the guys are, good luck. It's just tough to do anything. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And knowing that everybody on the gate is badass on a dirt bike. And if you beat them, I don't know. I think it'll just be cool.
No, that'd be my pick too. The longer motos wouldn't, but me beating the guys, I agree with that. And I'll ask you the opposite. What's one thing you're not looking forward to with going pro?
Traveling. I like traveling, but the flying and the jet lag, that kind of stuff. I mean, I feel like that's going to take a lot of, I've talked to many people that have gone pro.
Yep.
And so a lot of them will say that's the toughest part is, flying and getting your feet back underneath, sleeping, like,
dude,
you know,
yep.
it takes me a couple of days when I go from Washington, my home state, back to here.
Yep.
It's like I stay up till midnight because I just can't fall asleep. The
Mm-hmm.
time difference and stuff, but I don't know.
Dude, it's tough. So like, we have to go to every race to, you know, work with the program and stuff. And I'm not even racing, dude. And it's like I'm dragging ass for like 2 days after. I give you all the pros so much credit for, you know, flying back and forth and still getting sleep and doing this, dude. It can be a lot. So that is one thing I can definitely agree with you on. So what are some of your goals for when you go pro? Like, do you have a bar that you're setting for yourself? Are you kind of going in without any expectations? Like, what's your plan?
My goal for when I go pro, well, as of now, the plan is to probably do some outdoors after Loretta's. I'll do Loretta's and A Rider, and my instinct goal is just to like get a lot of experience and make it through, you know, like, well, always stay healthy is like the main goal. And then as far as finish wise, you know, I don't know where I put myself, but I just want to run with the top guys. I want to get good starts and just like, you know, see where I belong and stuff. And I think I belong, you know, I think I can run up front for a little bit, or I mean, I don't know. I have really no expectations, but my goal, I'm definitely going to set it high and, you know, reach for that, I guess.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's best not to put too much pressure, but still,
exactly.
you know, give yourself something to kind of work towards for sure. Is there like a pro rider or either past or present that you want to emulate? Like, oh man, I'd love to have their style, or I'd love to have their career, or you know, I'd love to work with the guys who are around this guy. Like, what's some of your I guess the guys you look up to in the sport almost?
Well, I've been in Washington. I've like talked to Villapoto quite a bit, and I would say I look up to him just because he had such a successful career. I mean, he was the man on a bike. And then
it was gnarly.
Also, I feel like as far as like I've worked with K-Dub recently, and I mean he was also like one of my heroes growing up just because his style was so sick. And I don't know, he almost looked like he enjoyed it more than others. Like some people from the outside looking in doesn't look like they're, you know, the happiest, and I feel like he was always, you know, the way he'd come out during opening ceremonies to do the transfer, stuff like that. Like he was rad. So I would say probably him.
Yeah, he made being pro look kind of cool. Like I think the Ricky, RV, kind of Dungy, they give us like, man, it looks like a grind, but K-Dub was all smiles, man. He was like loving the fan attention. Like that whole thing was super cool. I mean, that's definitely a guy that, you know, a lot of people tout as like one of the ones that they want to be like, not only for style, but on and off the track. He was just super nice.
And I would say present, probably like Jason Anderson. I think I look up to him quite a bit. And then also like Cincerillo. I don't know. I like those guys.
Yeah, no, they're solid. So when you do go pro, are you going to stay with your current team, or is there like a dream team you'd like to kind of sign with? Like if they came knocking, you definitely like think things through a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, whatever I feel is right. I think at this point, I just want a team that's going to back me 100% and that, you know, has a good environment. I think all bikes at this stage are good. I mean, when you're on factory equipment, I think they're all pretty comparable. Yeah. And I think I'd have no issues riding, you know, anything that somebody puts me on. But I mean, I would like to, I don't really know. I mean, I would literally do anything just to have a spot on a good team and be able to race all the outdoors and Supercross and have you know, good vibes around me and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I don't think that'll be a problem, man. I'm sure. You're gonna get some good support for sure. And my last question before we kind of wrap this thing up, I always ask this to a lot of people. What's one thing that you'd like to change about the sport, either in the pros or AMs, that you think would be more beneficial to a lot of people? That could be less travel, could be faster bikes, slower bikes, 2 strokes over 4 strokes. What are you thinking for your pick of things that you would change in the sport?
Man,
I got the hard-hitting questions.
I don't know. I feel like it needs to be talked about more. Like I feel like the sport, you know, it's such a small group. I wish it was advertised more, and you know, even like amateur races. Like I feel like, I mean, it'd probably cost a lot of money, but I feel like Loretta should like literally be on TV or
Yeah.
You know, even highlights of Loretta's should be on TV, and highlights of the future should be on TV, stuff like that. And that's another thing. I think there should be more. I think there should be like an intermediate and a like some sort of Supercross practice, because I feel like so many of these guys, they get signed and they go, you know, start riding Supercross for 4 months and they're lined up at A1, and it's like 90% of the time it seems like they're not ready. I feel like there should be some sort of, you know, Supercross series or something cool to just kind of get our feet wet. I don't know.
No, I agree. I think that's a hot topic for a lot of people, is how do we bring people up to the Supercross level without throwing them, you know, too much into the wolf pack, where it's gnarly. It's so different from what we, you know, a lot of people do in AMs, man. It's a big step, and you're on faster bikes and, you know, stiffer competition, and it's just so gnarly. What's the best way to graduate people to that level? So I definitely agree with you there, man. It's definitely tough, but hopefully we can figure it out and get more people, you know, ready and prepared, so we have better racing, which leads to more sponsorship, which leads to more coverage, and our sport grows. So that's definitely the plan. Well, Levi, thank you, man. Again, like I said, I'm super excited to get you on. Wish you all the best moving forward in 2020. Hopefully all the craziness is behind us, and we can start looking forward to 21 and doing some cool stuff. I know you got a lot of people to thank, some cool sponsors and people behind you, man. Who are they?
Well, first off, my mom and dad, obviously, for supporting me this whole time. And then my mechanic, Connor, grinding it out with me. The whole Rock River Yamaha team, Ed Torrance and those guys. And then, I don't know, just all my friends and family believing in me. You know, people like you want me on the show. It's pretty cool.
Oh, no, definitely. We're big fans, man. We'll have you on anytime you want to come on. So
cool. Yeah. And just, I don't know, everybody, thank you.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. Everyone, please check out Levi Kitchen. Follow them, comment. Definitely be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will talk to you guys shortly.